Synopsis of the Books of the Bible. Minor Prophets. By JND Darby. Micah. Chapter 4. Prophecies of judgment concluded by promises of full re-establishment of glory and blessing. Micah 4. But again the prophet, in the spirit of Isaiah, concludes his denunciations of sin, and his prophecies of judgment and desolation, by announcing the full re-establishment of blessing and glory in Zion. The Spirit repeats, there was no room for change, the declaration of the glory of Zion in the last days, given in Isaiah 2. But, the prophecy being much less developed, it connects this declaration immediately with the events of the last days. Israel should dwell in perfect peace, consequent on God's rebuking the strong nations and judging among the peoples, verses 3 and 4, and Jehovah is exalted amongst them. Each nation, say they, will boast of its God, but Jehovah is our God forever and ever. Jehovah is the glory of his people. In that day Jehovah will accept the remnant of his people, he will assemble the poor, feeble, halting Jacob, and reunite that which he had scattered and afflicted. It should be the remnant of his desire, that which he had cast off should be a strong nation. Jehovah himself would reign over them in Zion forever. Double judgment on Jerusalem, captivity and deliverance, striking event of her last days. Nevertheless, though the prophecy is less developed, the order of the events through which the people had to pass is brought out only so much the clearer by the shortness of the prophecy, which is thus a key to the more lengthened developments of Isaiah. The prophet announces that the first dominion, the kingdom of David and Solomon, shall return to Jerusalem, and with this statement, the direct announcement of the millennial state of blessedness closes. But, meanwhile, the royalty with which the glory of Jerusalem was connected had to be set aside. Verse 9, a double judgment on Jerusalem connected itself with this. The daughter of Jerusalem must go to Babylon, and be delivered and redeemed from the hand of her enemies, by the power of God. She was to be their captive, far away from Zion. That is, the captivity of Jerusalem amidst the Gentile monarchies is announced. It was while in this condition deliverance would be granted to her. But another event was to characterize these last days of her history. Many nations should be assembled against her, seeking to profane her and to gaze insultingly upon her. This is the attack made upon Jerusalem when Jehovah was dealing with her in her own place, but they who came up against her knew not the thoughts of Jehovah. He had gathered them together as sheaves into the threshing floor. The daughter of Zion should trample on them and beat them in pieces, and consecrate their spoils unto Jehovah, who in that day will magnify his name of the God of the whole earth. Compare Isaiah 17 verses 12 to 14, and Zechariah 14 verse 2, 12 verses 2 and 3, Psalm 83.